Welcome in. It is day 161, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today I'm going to be bringing out a game that's one of the few games that I truly, really enjoyed playing solo. I don't mind playing with other people, and I have. I've played with my wife, my sister, a few of my friends at times. But this is a game I tend to stick to more on my own. That game is Dungeon Rule. So in Dungeon Rule, you pick a character, and you're going to end up going on an adventure where you're going to have to fight through all these monsters. So you'll flip over a monster, it'll say what's required in order to beat it, and then you'll have to roll your dice. Well, when you roll your dice, you're going to have to use dice to try to defeat the monster. But at the same time, you're going to be able to gather things from the dice. So some of the dice might say, all right, well, by doing this, you're going to get a maybe something that's going to be like a sword, or something you can use for a future damage, something that's going to be worth a point, something that doesn't count for anything now, but it's going to count for later. And then you also have lots of different types of warriors. So it's going to be like, oh, you have the mage that you've rolled, you've got the warrior that you've rolled, there's basically like 4 different types of fighters, plus one that's considered to be like a wild in a way. So you fight. You roll to see if you beat them. If you do, then you can gather all your stuff and get the experience for that level, or you can move forward, meaning, all right, well, now you're going to have to go forward and fight the next person, and they're going to be a little stronger. And you can keep going forward and try to face up to 10 levels. When eventually you die, you lose everything, or when you eventually cut it off and say you're done, you gain all of your stuff. Now, you're going to do this for 3 levels. So you'll do a round, 10 levels max, another round, 10 levels max, another round, 10 levels max. You always start at the 1, you move forward. During the game, the experience you've gained, if you want to, when you have enough of it, if you want to, you can spend experience, which is your points, to upgrade your card. So you'll flip your hero to the other side, and now your hero comes with extra abilities. Your hero, who you're starting with, is going to give you some kind of a benefit at the beginning of the game. So they might say like, oh, well, whenever you have a thief will also count as a wizard, and a wizard counts as a thief. Or it might say, if you were to lose, you can, use this guy's one-time ability to auto win the match and move on to the next round. So there's a bunch of stuff input in there. It's interesting. And then when they upgrade, all of a sudden it gets way more powerful. Now it may say like, oh, well, originally your guy would have turned this guy into this. Now he's turning into like 3 different people. So it's essentially turned into a second wild. Or maybe the first one was saying, well, you can use your guy to count as one of the hits on the bad guy, and now he's just an auto win against the bad guy. There are really cool ways to do this. You go through all of it, and then it depends on how you're playing. Are you playing solo, or are you playing with other friends? If you're playing solo, when you finish the game, you count up all your points, you check the list, and you see based on their number where you ranked. And it'll give you an idea as to how well you did. Did you fail? Did you kind of pass, but it was mediocre? Did you have a really good game, a great game, an amazing game, the best game? It gives you a little bit of a competition there. Compared to if you're playing against friends, it doesn't matter what your individual score is compared to the game. It matters against your opponents. So at the end, you just see which hero did the best, and that's the winner. It's a fun little game. It's a little tiny box. It's very nice how it opens up, stores. I've heard there's a lot of expansions to it. Never bought one. That might be something I'd consider down the line, but for me, the game works great as is. But why don't we judge it based on our 7 categories and see where this game really ranks for us. When it comes to that art, I think that the card art is really nice, but I love the design. The fact that this is a legitimate treasure chest box that pops open, for me, that's what grabbed me. I didn't know what the game was. I was in, I believe it was Barnes & Noble, walking around. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Now, I'm not into decorating my house. I don't put up lots of stuff. I do have some posters up, but they're made as movie-style posters for my theater that I made. And other than that, if I have something up, it's only because somebody got it for me. And for the most part, I don't do that. I tend to ask people not to do that for me. That being said, I like to look at those things. When I'm in a place and I see the bobbleheads or I see the action figures or whatever it is, I like to check them out. I think they're cool. I just don't want them to waste my money and my space. So I was checking this out and then realized this isn't something to like put up as a fake treasure chest. This is a game. And once I realized that, I went, you know what? It's not that expensive. Let me buy it. And it worked out great. So I think the art sold me because it drew me in. It's a thumbs up. Those components. So you've primarily got your cards. It's only a little bit of them. You have like 7 or 8 heroes to choose from. And then beyond that, it's just loads of cardboard for all the pieces that you're facing. So I think it's really good. The only thing beyond that is the box itself, because you use the box for the game. You have to pull out randomly. So when you get one of your thieves or your treasure chests or anything like that, you have to grab from the box and see what you randomly select for your tokens. And the box is also really good. It's held up for years. So overall, thumbs up. Your price. This is a game that you're going to find easily. It's going to be in Barnes & Noble. It's been there for years. You may not see this in every Target, but I feel like I have seen it at least once. And in your average board game store, I'd say it's 2 to 3 of them out of 5. It's basically if they have a small section. Whenever I see a small section of games, this is always on the shelf. And price-wise, you're talking somewhere between 12 and 20. It's not that expensive. You get a lot of game, and the fact this plays so much fun as solo really helps out to sell the game, because I may not play it a lot, but I get to play it by myself when I want. And then if friends want to play, it's a great multiplayer as well. So gotta give it a thumbs up. Your difficulty. That's what's great about this game. Is it difficult? Yeah, it is. If you want to push your luck, you can just play a few levels and be like, yeah, I'm just playing. Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, that's cool. And just do that 3 times in a row, be done, and whatever. Or you could push your luck. And that's where it's fun, especially with other players. When you're playing solo, I feel like you have to push your luck. But when you're playing with other players, the ability to, do I want to push my luck, or am I going to just take that 2 levels that I got and get some points, and then hopefully somebody else is going to push it and end up losing because they went too far? I love that. I think it's really good. So it's a thumbs up on that difficulty. Replayability. I mean, this is a game that when you pull it out, I know when I've had like nothing to do, I've played this like 4, 5, 6 times by myself in a row. When I've had friends that want to play, we've played it both in person and online on the board game arena, and we'll just play 2, 3 times in a row. It may not get pulled to the table as often as it used to be, but it's still a game that's always there for just that 20-minute gap. So I think it's got plenty of replayability. It's a thumbs up. Your keys to victory. So again, there's a lot of options here. When it comes to what you're getting, yes, there's not a guarantee on I'm going to get what I want if I do the treasure. So you may get something that doesn't work for you. But it's your choice on whether you want to push it or not with the continuing rolls. And it's your choice if you want to spend your experience to upgrade your character, if you want to keep that so you can try to have more points for end of game. There's a lot that comes into this game about just having to make a split-second decision, and I think this game does it really well and gives you plenty of keys to victory. It's a thumbs up. Unique. Is the game unique? I don't know of another game that necessarily really is in my category to compare to this one. It's a push your luck, but it's your push your luck dungeon crawl. And it's such a cool aspect to have a character with abilities that can upgrade, that you're gathering these different pieces of loot from your dungeon, that you're fighting these different monsters from your dungeon. Now, in case people were confused, because I haven't mentioned this before, the monsters themselves are dice. You get told how many dice for the level, and you roll the dice. And there's also the possibility of having to fight an actual dragon. So, that can be rolled out. There's a lot that comes with this. To me, it's very unique. It's a thumbs up. Overall, what do I think of this game? If you're a fantasy fan, if you like dungeon crawlers, if you're a D&D fan and you're looking for more board games to play with your friends, absolutely pick it up on the spot. If you're just an average gamer and you're a beginner, I think this is a great game for the beginner. But if you're even experienced or expert level, because it's not that long of a game, I think it's something to add to your collection, because it never hurts to have a quick 20-minute solo play, or have a game to play with your kids or friends or family that, hey, we're waiting for the rest of the people to show up, and you can play this real quick with somebody. So I think it's a recommend for everybody across the board. But that's just my opinion. It's up to you to decide what style games you're into, what size games you're into. Is this something that hits for you, or does it just kind of look lame? It's all right if you don't have any interest in it. You don't have to play. It's just a recommend to play. Well, it has been day 161, and we've been speaking about the game Dungeon Roll. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.